Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cutting through the noise on something we all talk about, the London housing crisis.
Right.
But we want to look past the usual complaints and find out why it feels like it's accelerating so fast. We're going to pull back the curtain on the economic friction that's, well, literally stalling development.
It really has just ground to a halt.
Exactly. So everyone knows London needs more homes, but let's just frame this. The benchmark, the target everyone agrees on, is massive. It's around 88,000 new homes every single year.
And here's the brutal reality of that. If you look at the data from, say, Molière and the GLA for the first 9 months of 2025, it's just grim.
How grim.
For private sale, developers started fewer than 3,300 new homes.
Wow.
And for affordable housing, which is arguably even more critical, the number is even worse. Just over 1,200 homes actually broke ground.
So we're not just missing the target.
We're failing by a factor of more than 20. That right there, that's the core of the problem.
Okay, let's really unpack this then. What on earth is stopping the building? I mean, it's not like there's a lack of people who want to buy or rent in London.
No, not at all. It's really a fundamental standoff between cost and expectation.
Okay.
So on the cost side, developers are just getting hammered. Building costs are up by as much as 20% since 2020.
20%.
Yeah, and that's from the combined pressure of, Brexit, the pandemic, and of course higher interest rates. Everything just costs more.
That can't be the whole story.
It's not. The land stalemate is the real engine of this failure. Landowners are the ones holding all the cards, and they're still expecting the kind of, the crazy price growth we saw in the early 2010s.
They're still living in the past, basically.
Pretty much. There's a great quote from Steve Turner at the Home Builders Federation. He said, landowners prefer parking 100 cars on it at a tenner a day and just waiting.
Just waiting for the prices to come back. But hold on. If London land prices only went up by, 0.7% in 2025? Why are they refusing to adjust? That sounds less like a market issue and more like a speculative standoff.
That's exactly what it is. And because of that disconnect, as David Fell from Hamptons pointed out, a lot of sites just physically can't make any money.
Even with planning permission.
Even with planning permission. We heard from a senior source at a major developer who said they haven't bought a large London site in several years. They used to buy one every 6 months. The market has seized up.
So you have the cost of land holding sites hostage, and the cost of building is soaring. What happens when the government then piles on its own costs? Let's talk about taxes.
Well, that's the trap, isn't it? As the developer Richard Dadzicki said, after all the taxes and levies, there's often just no money left to build out.
And a specific one people are talking about is the building safety levy. For listeners who don't follow this day to day, what is that and why is that £2,500 figure such a sticking point?
It's a tax, essentially, to fund fire safety remediation work after Grenfell. And the problem isn't just the amount, it's that landowners are refusing to absorb any of it.
So they won't lower their price to account for it.
Exactly. The HBF says politicians can't just keep saying, oh, just take it off the land value, because the seller will just walk away. So the developer gets stuck with the bill or the site just stays empty.
And at the same time, the support for people actually buying these homes has vanished.
Completely. The London version of Help to Buy was pulled in 2022.
Right.
And Steve Turner highlighted this. He said, for the first time in 60 years, you've not got any support team in place to help young buyers get onto the property ladder.
So all of this whole cost stack, must have a huge knock-on effect for affordable housing, too.
A massive one. Housing associations are really struggling. They actually cut their planned spending on new affordable homes by $1.5 billion in 2024.
So what's the fix there? What has to happen?
Well, either the subsidies for social housing providers have to go up dramatically, or the government needs to step in and guarantee the price of affordable housing. That would dramatically de-risk these projects for the builders and make them viable again.
So wrapping this all up, where does this leave us? The government has offered some relief, the levy relief, that $322 million City Hall fund.
But they're small measures in the face of a huge problem.
Exactly. It feels like we need a major intervention to restore confidence. Mark Farmer, who's a real industry veteran, he summed it up perfectly. He said this will be a crucial year and something will have to give.
That's right. The city doesn't just need homes. It needs projects that actually work, that deliver affordable homes. The current situation just isn't sustainable.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to chew on. If the cost of building is basically fixed by global economics, and you can't get rid of taxes entirely, which of these factors, the sky-high expectations of landowners, the lack of support for first-time buyers, or the level of social housing subsidy, do you think will be the one that finally gives in 2026? We'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.